So usually in the things that I do, I'm pretty organized. Like all of my tool storage is neatly organized, all of my camera equipment is neatly organized. But one of the aspects in life that I'm not organized in is most of my personal stuff. So, the bathroom sink becomes a mess like this pretty much every week. I found this project panel in the moving process to this new apartment, and I'm considering like reutilizing this to actually fix that situation and organize as much as my personal life as possible as well. So I'm building more of these project panels soon, but then with a different design, so might be able to reutilize this one. Now the design of this project panel is super simple. It's basically two metal sheets, and we can magnetically connect stuff to it with a Gridfinity system. I considered a bunch of positions for this thing, but eventually landed on this position here where it's vertically mounted onto the wall. This video is sponsored by Bambulab. So one of the first things I did was improve upon the mounting situation. So originally it had a base mount on there. I 3D printed some of these back plates on the Bambulab X1C. That came out really nicely. We're going to be mounting this onto the wall with this Tessa tape, which is specialized for the tiles in the bathroom. So I'm hoping that will stick to it quite nicely. So I made some grooves, and initially I wanted the groove side for the tape to be on the other side, but I think they're a little bit too deep, so I wasn't sure if I could actually properly mount it on here. And to mount this situation onto the wall, I used a laser level. That's just to keep it from going all crooked and stuff. So some of the first things I'd like to integrate are some vitamins, toothbrush, toothpaste, hair wax, and maybe some face creams, that kind of stuff. I'm approaching this in a very overkill manner by 3D scanning all of these components. But this is also really useful because in the design process, you can see how much each item sticks out, and if the Gridfinity panels above that can still be used for other items, so to say. In terms of the modeling process, it was fairly straightforward. I already had some Gridfinity panels available, and I'm putting this one all the way at the bottom segment so that we can account for those corners over there. I just marked out how big each item was, subtracted that from the design, eventually also giving it a little bit of a lip at the front over there so items don't actually fall out. Then I made a little gap for the toothbrushes to fall in place as well. In general, I'd like it to have backup, so if my toothpaste runs out, there's an extra bottle right there, and I can visually see like when I need to buy some new toothpaste. Now this video is sponsored by Bambulab. We're 3D printing all of these components on the Bambulab A1 and the X1C. Bambulab offers a variety of 3D printers ranging from the A1 Mini all the way up to H2D. And they recently released actually the P2S, which is a really awesome 3D printer. My personal experience with Bambulab printers has always been really awesome, and the print quality has always been really good with these machines. They've held up for the longest time now, and I pretty much gravitate towards it every day of the week when I 3D print something for a project. So definitely check them out. I'll leave some links in the description down below, and I'll talk a little bit about my experiences later on as well. That first panel came out looking really quite good, and it was held in place really nice and solid, so that's awesome. The next thing I'm integrating are electric razors. I 3D scanned this one as well, and the integration is super simple. It's a single Gridfinity cube, and it just has a little bit of a drop-in placement over there with an additional little chamfer on there, so it's a bit easier to put in place. The next thing is an electric precision razor. I'll be putting this next to it. It's the same kind of cube, but the hole is a little bit smaller. Now in terms of that filament, I'm actually using ABS for this project because I ran out of PET GHF, but ABS is not that great for damp or humid environments like this. So in general though, Bambulab offers a wide variety of 3D print filaments, and the refills are super useful because you're not actually paying for the entire price of the spool. It has little NFC tags on there, so as soon as you connect it to the 3D printer, it recognizes which filament that is, and then adjusts the profile to match that. Alright, so next up is my actual razor. It comes with some refill cartridges which we'll have to accommodate as well. The integration process was super simple, exactly the same as the precision razors with a little drop-in placement over here. Perhaps a little bit more of a complex item was actually the shaving foam itself. I actually wanted a refill for this, but because this tube is so big, it would take up too much space on the Gridfinity panel itself. So eventually I just modeled out this tube. I took off half of it so that it has this nice encaping where you can put it down, and it's essentially a shelf, but I'm mounting this on the side of the panel so that we can still use all of the space on the Gridfinity system itself. So in terms of its mounting position, I'm putting it behind the toothbrushes over there, so there's a little bit of room for those mounting points to be connected. So sometimes you're just like borrowing designs of previous items just to make the next item, and in this case that's the same thing. Printed this one on the X1C over here, and that one came out looking completely perfect, so I'm really enjoying that machine as well. And I 3D printed these in 2 components, so one end is connected to the other with some M3 bolts. So some of these items also came with their own storage options, and most of them are a little bit unmanageable because you're still putting them on the shelf itself. And in this case, this is like a face scrubbing thingy jig. I'm not entirely sure what you call them. But I've been using the panel for a little while now, and I can say that it's really nice to have everything organized in this manner. In terms of design, this project isn't really all too impressive. I mean, most of these items are super simple drop-in placements, like this one here. Maybe I overused a little bit of filament over there, but I'm also doing some other stuff behind the scenes, which is really interesting. So if you like the video at any point, then definitely consider leaving it a like, leaving a comment, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on those future build videos. There's also a couple items that don't really need quick access, but I do need a storage spot, and I created this simple little bucket over here for the face cream itself, but it's also used for additional little components like the extra razors or the extra components for the face brush and that kind of stuff. I actually upload all of these designs to my Patreon page, so if you'd like access to it, then you can check that out over there. All of the proceeds go back into the channel, so I'm actually building out a new studio at this moment, and in the future we'll be able to do some really cool advanced build projects with a lot more variety in the types of materials that we use and that kind of stuff, and I'm super excited for that, so any support really goes a long way. In terms of the CAD software that I'm using over here on the iPad, it's called Shaper 3D. It's one of the most intuitive CAD softwares I've tried so far, and it's super useful because you can model everything out on the iPad. So usually I'm just sitting in a train modeling out stuff for future projects that I'd like to do in rough design philosophy, so to say, so that I know what I'm going to build. And with that, we had another successful print of the X1C. Special thanks to Bambulab for sponsoring this project. Their 3D printers are really awesome. As I mentioned before, I'll leave some links in the description down below. Definitely check them out. In terms of the project itself, I am really enjoying this thing. Every time I come in the bathroom, everything is neatly packed away like this. Yeah, it's just really satisfying to look at, and also really satisfying that everything is really low maintenance at this point. So I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope it gave you some inspiration, and hopefully see you in the next one.